So we were talking about agreement, acceptance, understanding, and realization and everything. We had a lot of chat on this. Now let's move forward. This is another flow, which is basically with understanding comes integrity. With integrity, you are able to identify a responsibility. When you identify a responsibility, you are able to participate. That's how you collaborate. Right now, we are not able to identify our responsibilities, our main somewhere or the other. Mostly, we are looking at other people who are not fulfilling their responsibilities, and so we are very loose when it is concerning us, and we are very strict about when others are not fulfilling their responsibilities. Understanding leads to integrity, integrity leads to responsibility, responsibility leads to participation. And through participation, we collaborate.
In connection to that slide.
The earlier one. You said?
Huh? In that slide, we talked about how.
Pass the mic to her.
On that, no, on that slide on collaboration, we had spoken about how in order to collaborate, we need to be committed to the same common shared goal. And in order to be committed to it, we need to be able to accept the common goal. And in order to accept the common goal, we need to understand it. So that series that was just shown, from understanding to integrity, means from understanding, you accept, you understand the entirety of the common goal, therefore you accept it fully, and that full complete acceptance leads to this integrity in you that naturally now I will want to live by that, live according to that. And that acceptance, that integrity leads to commitment to that responsibility, and that commitment then translates to actually collaborating and participating in the common goal.
Okay. We'll keep revisiting this. The relevance of this will become clearer as we move forward. So, the common goal or the human goal, if we were to wonder what it is. So, the first question in this context is, do humans have a role in nature? Or are we determined?
Yes, humans do have a role in nature. We are part of nature.
We are part of.
We are one among.
We are one of the units of the nature, right? So we are an integral part of the nature. So, does everybody believe that we are an integral part of the nature? You saying something, Krishna? Okay. So we are an integral part of nature. When we say humans, they are not separate from nature. So we have not given, humans came from the rest of the nature. In the process of evolution, humans have also evolved. The process of evolution is there in nature. Right? So if we are an integral part of the nature, do we have a role in nature? This basically means there is role for every unit that is there in nature. So minerals have a role, plants have a role, animals have a role. So humans have a role in nature. Yes.
Towards-
Take
towards-
mic. Relay.
To coexist with nature and harmony with nature.
Vidya, yes. Take the mic. Pass the mic.
I think we are the only species who have gone through cognitive progress. Like we can identify with something abstract. No other species.
Yes.
Nature helps us to give resources for human beings, so we have a role in it.
That is the role of nature. We utilize nature's resources. But what is our role in nature?
That we have to, there is food. Food always comes from farming, and through farming we have.
We have nature from where we get food. Whether we farm or don't farm, food will be there. Right? From the forest we can gather also. Right? So, what is the role of humans in the nature?
Adapt with the nature.
Yeah. Aditya wants to.
Basically, you're trying to ask that what is our role in nature.
Yeah.
I think our role in nature is to the forests are there, but to make it even better, because nature is giving us certain, we are part of nature, but whatever the trees, plants, animals, they are giving us something. So our role is to make it whatever is there right now, we've made it better according to us, but we need to think of, because we have the brain, they also have a brain, but we have imagination, so we need to imagine something which will include, which I guess the whole, we need to think of the whole and imagine something and then create something which is, which we can sustain ourselves also, and it's better for the plants and animals.
Right now, sometimes it seems if humans were not there, it would have been decorated.
Yeah.
Right?
I want to also.
Kasim asked. This is good. This is a good question I asked. The younger lot.
Our role in nature is to live in nature and have fun, but we should not harm nature. And we should just live have fun, but not without harming nature.
So, but when if I ask you, not to stand up, Kasim, if I ask you not to stand up, or not to sing, or not to dance, so any thing which I ask you to do, by putting not to in front of it, what will you do? If I ask you not to stand up, what will you do?
Not stand up.
Is that doing something? You're not doing anything, no?
Not to harm nature.
For doing something, we need to identify what we have to do. So by saying not to harm, instead of that we need to discover what do we have to do in nature. Yes. Yes, please.
I don't understand the question. So what's the role of plants and animals? What's their role actually?
So if we look at the nature in its entirety, so say for plants. So plants are the ones which are supporting the animal. So that we can say it is the role of the plants in nature. They provide the oxygen for the animals, they provide food for the animals. That is the role. They enrich the soil. So this is the role of plants. They seem to be doing some there is a connection between plants and other things and seems to be fulfilling some role. Whereas humans, what is their role? That is questionable. For us also, humans, our basic food is coming from plants only. Even when we are non-vegetarians, the animals, the mostly that we eat are living off the plants.
That means what is something doing for someone else or something else in nature?
Yeah. So like if you remember when I gave the definition of the system, I said there are many components and they are interacting with each other and and are in harmony. So if we look at the nature without the human being for the time, so the three states of minerals, plants and animals, they seem to be working with each other in a harmonious manner. Right? But then nature produces human beings through the evolution and we don't seem to be fitting it. So that's why the question, what is the role of humans? We didn't give rise to human beings, no. Nature only gave rise to human beings.
But we have actually not seen that if human beings were not there, if it will still work like how we are assuming it would work.
I'm not saying it would, I'm just saying without, when we observe the nature, including the human being. So the other three orders, like the mineral order or the plant order or the animal order, they seem to be functioning in coordination with each other, in collaboration with each other. Whereas humans don't seem to be working.
But when you're that way, so if we really observe, plants is not producing food with thinking that I'll have to produce more to give it to animals or something. It is doing its role in a way. It is it is sustaining itself. That's it. Byproduct is the animal is getting its food.
And that is what we are trying to do. We are also trying to sustain itself. But we are not able to sustain ourselves right now without damaging everything around us.
So we are not performing whatever is expected from. I don't know.
Who's
it's an
expecting?
expectation.
I'm just asking one thing.
It's not expectation from someone.
Yeah.
But if we see the nature, if we see the plant and animal, nobody is expecting from a plant also.
Yeah.
But whatever its role is, it is performing. We are not able to perform.
So whatever a plant does something for itself, but some part of that becomes useful for others.
For others.
Same thing with animals, same thing with minerals. What about human beings? It is emerging out of the same nature. Right? But whatever we are doing is damaging everything else. And we have now come to the brink of saying maybe life will end on this planet because of our actions. If we have a nuclear war. Yeah, Alifia wanted to say.
Yeah, what Mama was.
My first name.
I don't know, but I think that plants or animals or whatever, apart from us, nature is there. They don't know what. I mean, they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they know actually, but I mean, whatever they're doing, they're taking something and giving back exactly what they're taking without actually being conscious.
Yeah, that is a selfless thing. No?
Being conscious of it.
Yeah.
No, but humans also are taking and giving. We can't take when we die. We don't take anything with us, right? Everything is here only.
Yeah, but what we are giving is suppose Mama is there and what she will give me is she will give me something and I am living in this world. So what she gives me is indirectly she is giving it to the world. If she gives me something, not materialistic thing she is giving me, but she is giving me some thought process. She is giving me education, whatever.
Right.
And after she goes, that education, that thing will still be with me. So indirectly she gives something to the world.
Yeah, sure.
So that she is giving, but what we are doing is we are taking more, like we're out of greed, but I don't think we are able to give as much as we are taking. So that's why it's making an imbalance, and that's why. But plants, I don't think plants have any imagination, or they don't have the power to imagine like what will be tomorrow. They don't have that thing. They live, yeah. But we think about our future. And
We
everything.
talk about the four things, the material order, the plant
Yeah.
order, the animal order, and the knowledge order, which is the nuance. We'll talk about that. And we'll see the differences and everything according to what we are saying here. But right now the question is very simple. Is there a role for human being?
Ideally, the role should have been, in an ideal scenario, the role should have been very similar to what animals are doing. The least that a human being can actually do is poop in nature, so that, at least the byproduct of what we've eaten goes back.
But we do poop in nature.
Not really. We don't.
No, a walled room is also nature.
It is, but the way it's treated, what happens to the, is like what I'm trying to say is it's the process, the way an STP works and what comes out of it and the sludge, and it's not an ideal scenario, that ways, but in an ideal scenario it should have been the carbon dioxide that kind of goes out, which is for the trees and the whatever, the byproducts of whatever comes out of our body was supposed. That's if I just look at humans as humans in a separate context from who we have become now, that would have been an ideal, sort of a scenario. But in today's context, I think our role, which is a very urgent role that we need to fulfill, is to, like what we were speaking about yesterday, the negative impact that we've brought about. Ideally, now the role should be to correct it, and and then rethink about nature. You know what I mean, right? It's like trying to figure the role back in a simplistic manner. Right now, the complex role that we have is to bring it back to some sort of a semblance.
So then the question comes, when we must have started on this planet,
Yeah.
we would have been surrounded by a lot of forests and animals and plants and things like that. And we were pooping in jungle. How did we come there? And why did we come there?
I think it's the same thing, like the fact that that differentiating factor between the rest of the nature and us, which is the fact that we can perceive a few things which other beings possibly don't perceive, and I think that's, the desire and all of that kind of misplaced, I think, survival. I don't know what it is that kicked in inside of all of us, eons back, which has kind of gotten us into this role. So I think evolution is the only, if we evolve in our own brains and hearts, I think that's the only way to figure.
Yes, that's right. And first Raji, then after. Because the mic is closer.
I was just saying that maybe to appreciate the nature, because maybe the other beings, animals are also appreciating the. So about the consciousness, I think plants and animals do have consciousness, but the consciousness is limited. We do have consciousness. I don't know consciousness, but they do. There are experiments done which shows that they show some response, to the music or some things in our
Response to the stimuli is there.
So their consciousness is limited, but I don't know, maybe to appreciate the nature wanted to be appreciated in a more better way. So what human beings.
I think you're not very much off, according to what we need to answer. Yeah.
So if I think the question is, do humans have or had any role in the nature? Not should be. So for me the answer is no for now, because the framework from which I am thinking is that like if I think of any species and if I take it out of the ecosystem, what impact does that has on the ecosystem? For example, if I take lizard out of the ecosystem, the entire food chain gets disrupted. The lower species like insects will get like populate the earth unchecked. If I take humans out of the entire ecosystem, I can't think of anything that like any negative impact it will have on the ecosystem. So point can see the answer is no.
You mean to say the role is there if you are part of the food chain? If you are at the top of the food chain, then there is no role.
If you're top of the food chain, then you're checking the lower species, lower.
We are part of the food chain, aren't we?
But then if I remove humans from the earth currently, what impact will it have?
So maybe humans' role has got nothing to do with the food chain.
During COVID, when we had that lockdown, just in a month we could see the change. Nature is very powerful. If we restrict humans to their activities, they reduce their activities and their involvement in nature. In just a month, we could see everything changing. The air changed in Delhi, and the color of sky changed, and peacocks flew to our nearby houses in our just parks nearby. So nature is very powerful and it bounces back very easily. It's just that we have to restrict our activity and understand how much like we are doing everything for the betterment, and just for the betterment now we are exploiting the nature. So we have
The
to
role-
find a balance.
Role of human beings. Is there a role? First,
Yeah, there is definitely
Yes.
a role because we are a part of nature.
right. So it seems quite, simply that there should be a role. And if there should be a role, or there is a role, then what is it? As we said. I agree with all the statements you made that in the lockdown, everything just was so beautiful. Maybe humans were meant to be locked inside. And I would wonder why were they there in nature?
No, but we need to find a balance of on our activities, which activities we can control and which are harmful. That way. We do have a role in nature. We are finding like human is helping in restoring the species also. Yeah, maybe we are undoing the harm also. There are people who are working to undo the harm.
Very few.
There are people.
Yeah. But the thing is, the day lockdown was over, what happened?
But at least we realize that we are not far
But
away.
if we realize that, why did we come back with vengeance?
At that time we heard that we will have some regulations that let's have a lockdown for 1 day in a month so that we have clean air, but nothing followed.
I'll again remind you, I made this statement earlier, just pay attention to this. Humans cannot be regulated from outside. Any number of laws, regulation, norms you can make, humans' behavior cannot be regulated from outside.
Some of us got regulated.
Like,
Some of us got regulated not the restrictions helped a few people realize, but the realization came from within. It maybe the restrictions enabled people to open their eyes and figure कि अच्छा ऐसा भी हो सकता है. A lot of people picked up better habits and newer ways
I
of
would say
doing
maybe
things.
1 in 10.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that at all. But I'm just saying that sometimes some things help in, bringing something else out of people as well. Unless, I think, it's a very... another thing that I just wanted to quickly add, which was, I think this whole human behavior also extends to the pets of the humans as well. That's something that I realized. Pets also generate equal amount of waste just by living in proximity with humans. So somewhere I think our consciousness is connected to
We have the ability to distort the conduct of
animals as well.
and plants
Yeah,
also,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because we have the ability to modify it.
Mm.
So yeah, so okay, if no answer is coming, let's leave it for some time and go on to the next question. So would there be something called as human goal, which is a goal for every human being by the virtue of being a human being? Naturally.
Yes.
Happiness and peace.
Happiness and peace. Okay. You'll have to describe further. What do you mean by happiness and peace? Everybody is working for happiness only, na? And this is what is resulting in the present state.
Feeling content, feeling of contentment.
Yeah, we feel content.
I mean, so what is the goal and what are we doing about it? What have we done about it?
Can
Yes.
I, can I say?
Yes.
So, the only species with a better intelligence, I can say. So it can actually, goal can be to use it for the betterment of maybe not betterment, but to use it in the nature, such as as it somehow. I don't know.
You're very close to what Nitya was saying. She was also saying something. It's not off, it's not wrong, but it's not complete. We have to go to what makes it complete.
The question is basically goal of human life.
Of human life. What is the goal? Yes, sir.
So, I don't know what it means.
On.
So I don't know what it means, but it means by self-realization exactly. But maybe the self-realization, how do we exist in this nature? I don't know the answer, but I do also feel personally why I'm here, and I have dealt with the question of death also. Like, for me, it was important to make peace with death also. So the answer would be for me like self-realization, but I don't understand what that exactly means.
That is also important piece in this puzzle, self-realization. But again, we need something more complete.
To make peace, I think when we realize ourselves, we are in peace. I don't
There's
know.
more to it. More to it. Okay.
Just one last thing.
Yes.
For me, I feel there are two qualities of joy or happiness or whatever something in that category that everyone is looking for.
Yeah.
The one is something that comes from within without any reason. Even if you just shut your eyes and just sit, you should be able to feel it. And the other is what comes from outside in. So personally, I feel the human goal, what it naturally yearns for, is a combination of both. So currently what's happening is what's coming from out to in is so, there's such a variety to it and so many things to it and such quickness to it. It's like just a button away and all of that. That somewhere that inside button, I think is kind of, and everything is outsourced to what's coming from outside. And anything that comes from outside comes at a cost, So I think that imbalance goal, something that comes naturally from a human being as a goal is achieving that inner and outer, both.
Some balance in the inner
some,
and outer.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Yeah, Sahiba.
I think human beings have shrunk down to just me, myself, and I, or just maybe me and my family, or just me. So human goal probably should be self-expansion. You know, expanding ourselves to a wider, maybe just being there in service of each other, human to human, human to nature, human to plant, animal. Just being there for each other. And just working in symbiosis. Nature is not working in symbiosis. Nature likes us, nature wants us, and just human being to work in symbiosis with nature.
मतलब मुझे लगता है कि ह्यूमंस का रोल नेचर में ऐसा अभी तो कुछ नहीं है, क्योंकि इतने सब साल में जो बहुत इयर्स हो गए उसमें नेचर ने टेक ओवर कर दिया। जो हमारा रोल था वो ह्यूमन ने शायद नहीं पूरा किया, इसलिए नेचर ने टेक ओवर कर दिया। और अब गोल ऐसा होना चाहिए कि जो जब मतलब जितना हमने ख़राब किया है अभी नेचर को, कंस्ट्रक्शंस और सीमेंट और झाड़ को तोड़ा है, तो वो सब ट्रीज सब मतलब नेचर को प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहिए। ऐसा तो मुझे अभी लगता है गोल तो यही होना चाहिए,
नेचर को प्रोटेक्ट करना। Right. Yes. With the mic.
We just try to figure out maybe our position in the universe.
Okay. That's also important. Yeah. Okay. Let's add another question to this. This goal, because it is by the virtue of being human, would it be individual or collective goal? And also, will it be some time limited goal or will it be eternal goal? Will it be circumstantial or universal? So somehow we have this instinct that it's on the right side, no? But we have no reasons for it. Yes. Huh?
Everything is on the right side.
I think
Jump in, right?
I think the basic the basic human goal is to always be happy, and not just in some circumstance be happy. Always, every second of your life be happy. That I think everyone wants.
Okay. Yeah. So, basic human goal is to be happy. Anything else? Yeah. Avinash, take a minute. Rita, just ask me.
Do humans have any role in nature? I guess there is no such role of human in nature, because nature was there before human existed.
Right.
And
Nature was created.
No, nature was there. We don't know how it was
Yeah.
created.
So nature is there. Yeah.
Nature is already there.
Yeah. And humans are also there.
We just came from the nature.
Right.
So humans could be a mistake of nature. And,
Nature makes mistakes or humans make mistakes?
we humans make mistake, but nature, I think nature made a small mistake by killing us. And now the consequences are here, and like now when humans are
But
here,
when we're saying this, there is something going on inside. It doesn't sound perfectly right.
yeah, like obviously it is, kind of biology that we evolve, and from animals, and those are heredity and evolution. So still, I don't feel like there is any role of human in nature.
They don't seem to be fulfilling any role as of now. That is true. So let's limit to that. As of now, we can't see any role.
Yeah.
But to say there is no role, that we need to understand the nature properly.
Yes. As far as I know, as far as my knowledge, I think that human has no role.
As of now.
As of now. And like, if there is no role, there is no goal.
Yeah, this is correct. So the goal would be to fulfill the role. Yeah?
As of now.
As of now. Yes.
Thanks so much. That's all.
So what should we do now? If we take this, we have no role, no goal.
What should we do now?
Yeah. Where does it leave us?
Well, अब गलती हो चुकी है. So we just try to make it more moderate and just not to do such harms, not
Why
just
not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Because I know nature was existing before humans, so nature will exist, not in this earth, but yes, nature will exist.
No, even on this earth, even if it destroys everything, the matter will be there, no?
Yes, matter will be there, and
maybe like moon or sun or something like that.
Yes.
Will be there.
So,
Nature will be there.
Yeah, nature will be there. So that's our harmony. So it's better that human just get some sort of self-realization as of now.
This is not a very, deep-rooted question or anything of that sort. We are human beings, we exist. Why do we exist? Well, any innocent mind could come up with this question. But somehow or the other, we are not trained now to think in this direction. This is our philosophy. Yes, sir. Take it. You wanted to say something? Okay. Yes, first you go.
I was just thinking what is unique about human nature compared to other species. This is that thinking ability, differentiating ability.
Yes.
Something with respect to do with that. Maybe master is cognitive senses, but with alignment to, I don't know, there is some cycle happening here.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is called now.
Okay.
This much is and before getting into what is the role and all, right now what we can think about is what is that not to be done. That is also somehow one more thought came like just follow your intuition, that's it.
Follow your?
Intuition. That I really hope that we know what is our role. Put the mic closer. Just keep it closer.
Follow your
Intuition.
Intuition. Yeah. Okay. But whatever we have done, we have followed our intuition. No, not maybe some people's intuition is not this, but whenever people have done, very genuinely believe this needs to be done. So, yes, Siddharth, you want to say something?
I was just thinking, some sparking is going on. Loose connection and sparking going on there.
Yeah, this is from the mind. Yeah.
So I was just thinking, nature has this phenomenon of entropy. So, like humans were there, like because maybe some previous things needed to go into entropy. We destroyed something, and now we are also in destruction. We are also like, I don't know whether I'm just thinking like that. Because I also tried to search answer for this. Why are we in a self-destructive mode? We are in self-destructive mode, and maybe that's the nature. Like.
So everybody understands the word entropy? No. We have to explain what it is.
So it's a like we studied in a law of thermodynamics. So second law says that, maybe second law, if I'm not wrong, whenever a system is in harmony, so the system becomes like that. It has to go into out of harmony, and that process is called entropy. If I'm making sense.
So increase in the degree of freedom. Amount of disorder.
Yes.
So this is the law of entropy, which is taught. Now, no, hang on. I'm questioning the law of entropy. Have you studied a little bit about process of evolution?
Yes,
Evolution,
Charles Darwin and all that.
everything evolution. So what is happening in evolution? Is it becoming disorderly or more orderly?
Evolution. To me, human evolution seems to be disordered.
Forget human for the time being. But before that, from the material order arises the biological order. From the biological order arises the animal order. These are less complex or more complex?
More complex, definitely.
So less orderly or more orderly?
There has to be order to have complex things.
If physics, if we take the principle of physics and orderly, disorderly in that sense, we are becoming more orderly because we are more complex systems. There are much more.
Complex system needs more order. But then I think it's not just one system. In that one system also there are many systems. So those systems are collapsing maybe.
But take planet Earth as a system. There is no third party intervention into it. There is just planet Earth, matter, and it is doing its activity. And while doing its activity, slowly, evolution is taking place. So either you have the law of entropy or you have the law of evolution. You can't have both of them together.
No, but it can be like there is an evolution, but some things which have evolved to a certain point and they are going in different.
What I'm saying is what the last step you're saying. How did the first two steps take place? They are violation of entropy, no? If we are calling law of entropy or law of thermodynamics, law is something which is universal, which is always applicable. So how did less complex minerals become more complex materials? How did more complex materials lead to biological life, which is highly complex? Biological life leading to very complex biological life, and then animal life, which is much more complex.
Yeah, but then from last maybe few thousand years, no new species have evolved.
No, I'm saying talk about the time till this evolution has taken place before human beings. How did that happen? Was entropy not applicable at that time?
Maybe the dinosaurs were there.
No. What I'm saying is evolution is again a principle we are taught, where we see less orderly things becoming more orderly, more complex. And then we are also being taught that there is law of entropy. The degree of freedom will increase. Just think about it. If there is the matter in the universe, full of so much matter, why is it in form of planets and solar systems and galaxies? This is all ordered, It should have been just like dust which is spread out everywhere.
But then black holes and like planets get sun and all stars are becoming black holes. Like the evolution and destruction is happening simultaneously.
If you look at most of the matter in the universe, you see it organized in a certain manner. All the visible universe is organized. This is what, there is the theory for thermodynamics, there is theory for evolution, there is theory for something else and something else. They don't interconnect with each other. All in patches.
One thing I just want to put here, might not be relevant, but plants and humans, they both breathe opposite. Like plants need carbon dioxide we are part of animals and we need oxygen, we breathe out oxygen. So that way, if we look at the cycle of oxygen and carbon dioxide, that is completed with plants and animals both existing together.
So plants do take in carbon dioxide for photosynthesis,
Yeah.
but they also breathe oxygen in. Respiration part does take that.
But animals are here breathing out and balance of the air was maintained.
Yeah,
And
that
now
is-
it is imbalanced, but it was supposed to be balanced that way with animals and plants existing together.
in animals. Yes, true. Okay. So, then what Vachilavati was saying was that she was looking at the qualities of the human being, the uniqueness of the human being, what is that? And she was trying to discover the answer to this, do we have a role? That is the right direction to go. So what is the human being? Let's come to that.
Sophisticated animal and intelligent.
Define intelligence. What we are doing, destroying our own home, in literature it is called Kalidas Buddhi, which basically means being stupid.
Yeah, we went to that level.
So are we intelligent? That's a question, no? Legitimate question. Yes, please. Yes, Mike.
I have a thought.
Not on that.
Okay, I have a thought. So, species have come and gone in nature before humans. So maybe our role is to fight the nature, because nature is trying to wipe us out and we have to fight and stay, because humans would not be the first species to be wiped out. There were others and they couldn't fight. Whatever they did, they were maybe creating some imbalance and they were wiped out. And our role is to fight the nature and keep our place here.
So, any examples of the nature is trying to wipe us out?
Like some species, dodos or
No, those are those species example. We have to go
Rabbits,
into those, like dodos will die out because of
okay,
nature.
nature is not trying to wipe us out.
Yeah.
We are not in harmony with nature. So
Right.
that is causing for us to worry that we might not be able to sustain here.
So we are wiping ourselves out.
Yeah, so now we have to fight that and keep our place here.
So then we have to fight ourselves or our nature rather than the nature.
Maybe, but I'm still thinking that nature as an external, not human nature. But because of our actions, now the situations that we are creating, that we are worried about, the accident, like the imbalance that we are creating.
Right.
So I don't think we can change the human nature, our nature of greed. That can't be changed. So we have to live with that and also create situations where we can tame the nature.
That seems feasible. The whole overpowering nature we can tame, but our own nature we can't change.
Yeah, that's what I think.
No, it's not funny, but when we look at it like this, it seems absurd at times. You know? I mean, I'm not saying you are saying anything which is absurd, but it doesn't sound right. It is such a huge thing. Nature is like immense. We have not even yet understood what nature is. We are ready to modify it, but our own nature, our own character, we have given up.
Yeah, I'm kind of cynical.
No problem. Yes. So what is the quality of human beings which is unique? which is different from animals, plants, materials.
Angelina mentioned intelligence.
So I question that.
Intelligence she mentioned.
Yeah.
So that's a quality. Like creative intelligence is, I think, what only humans have shown. Arts and music.
So define intelligence.
Arts and music, the way to produce, make language.
Hmm.
Language, arts, music.
Language is there, creativity is there in animals also. You know, crows can solve 7 level of problems to get to their objective. Crows, human-made problems for them. You can give them puzzles which have got 7 levels, they solve that and reach their goal.
That's all.
Yes. We the humans are talking about our own role and goal.
One is free will.
We have the free will.
And the other, I would say, the ability to build imagined reality.
Imagine. Very interesting. What do you mean by that?
This is not my own thought, but this is what I've read. So imagined reality, I think it's only humans who have this ability to imagine. For example, I will give you an example of imagined reality is religion. Something that doesn't exist, but it can, but we can actually bring people together through a concept.
Yeah.
Religion, and in more practical sense, if we see even the corporates, or for example, health insurance.
Mm.
You know, there's so many examples of imagined reality that exists in, that humans have built.
Right.
Animals, whatever. They
So-
live on reality.
So very highly developed power of imagination and free will. These are the two things. Yes. You wanted to say something about that? Yeah.
Humans are also very hungry for power. So to exert their power, they are destroying nature.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
So, on extension to Jimmy's point, like we have to, I think we have to do a bit of an extra effort to, like, do good, or maybe if there is a role for human life, to be true to that role. So, can it be possible that whatever is happening, like 99% of the humans are doing something which is detrimental to nature, and like whatever they are doing, whatever is happening in nature, that is nature. Like nature is around it. We are nature. So maybe that is supposed to be, like we are supposed to do that. Like,
there's no problem.
Like to be destructive, like I don't know whether it's true or not, but like nobody teaches a child to be destructive. Like destruction comes very naturally to humans. I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but sometimes it feels that destruction comes very natural to humans. But we have to do such workshops and remind us to be to not be destructive. So maybe that is an indication of that.
Oh. Fine. Yeah.
One thing unique about humans beyond free will and the imaginative thing that she mentioned, the same imaginative whatever is applicable for outside reality, humans are capable for the same thing inside as well. Like for example, humans are capable of experiencing different levels of consciousness. They're able to. There are some humans who have transcended the need for probably, let's say, food, for example, food and water, like certain dependencies. Many humans are capable of, I mean, all of us are, just as some choose to explore potentials which are not very, common. They know how to break certain barriers and thrive, not just survive.
But those are rare things. I mean, I'm talking about common human beings. I'm
Which is
talking
common
about
to all of us.
Yeah.
Not just potential, but the actualization of
Potential, even in terms of potential, but common to all of us. And the
potential is there, I feel. I mean, like many people, for example, there were so many of us, who believe that even if you take the simple concept of intermittent fasting, for example, for these many hours or those many days or whatever it may be, that was not a thing, but many people are now opening up to it. So, which means potential to sab mein hai. Who does it or not?
So that's power of imagination only. No?
Yeah. That's why I said it's not just limited to what we are capable of doing outside of ourselves, but also within.
So
inside of.
The good, interesting thing about power of imagination is whatever we do outside, first we imagine it inside.
We imagine, but what I'm trying to say is like these are externalized material stuff का imagination का बात नहीं कर रही हूँ मैं. I'm talking about internally shifting one's abilities. I'm talking about internal shift of abilities, not external manifestation.
Yeah. So like we have imagined good human beings.
Yeah.
So we have imagined the right conduct. We have imagined a utopian society. We have imagined some sort of harmonious behavior. We have literature full of it. We have stories full of it, myths full of it.
Yeah.
So we do imagine things like that also. But right now we should have about this fact that I'm starting off because I've been told that we are going too slow. I'm now accelerating. Okay. So we were talking about the role of humans in nature, human goal. What kind of a goal would it be? Will it be individual or collective? Would it be circumstantial or universal? Would it be durational or universal? Right? Okay. So, we were talking about the qualities of human beings that make humans unique, something more than others. And Pallavi had wanted to say something. Please pass the mic to her. Only this will not go. Sorry. No. This one going. Yeah, there is a point here. So we just take this. See, just yeah. So keep this here at this end. This is shorter. Yeah. Yes, Pallavi, please.
So one of the qualities I was wondering is, would it be this ability to reflect individually and together on things which have long gone by? I mean, of course, reflection is in the latter, but also there's the ability to carry that memory and then reflect on it.
Yes. Yes, that is an important point. So, because I'm accelerating now. If you look at material order, look at this mud. Its contact is with whatever comes in contact with it. If there is some water on it, the mud will have some reaction. That reaction will be according to the natural laws. Right? So it only deals with things which come in contact with it. Same is with the stone, same is with any mineral. If you look at plant world, again, they also deal with something which comes in contact with it. Here and now, that is the key. So something which comes in contact, they respond to it according to the laws governing that interaction, and that's what their conduct is. So whatever is coming in contact with them, they respond according to the principles given. Animals also more or less deal in here and now. There is slight bit of planning in them. It is less than planning, it's more instinct. Like when they are going to have offspring, they start doing certain activities to prepare for it. So there is some concept of future there, right? But very rudimentary. It is very instinctual. It is not conceptual. Humans have the concept of time. So, which is, we don't deal only now, we all have memories since our childhood. And we also have plans for the future. So we deal with time. Right? But not only that, we also deal with space in the sense of expanse. We are here, but wherever our homes is, that also is within our purview. What is happening on the globe, that also we consider. What is happening in our solar system, sometimes we also consider that. Right? Then, like when the solar eclipse was about to happen, we were all observing it. We have sent spacecraft much beyond the solar system also now. We have concepts which tell us what the universe is like. Places we have not even seen or visualized. But we have theories to explain them. Right? So humans conduct, a very small part is there in here and now. Most of it is based in past, future, or in places which are away. So human being being a unit, I'm just in here. But I deal with everything, so many things which are away from me, in terms of time and space. This is the unique ability of human beings. Where we don't have to be in the situation to understand the situation. Like, we don't have to see the water evaporate. We concluded this long time back, thousands of generations back. This is the water from the seas which evaporates and then it falls in form of rain on us. Despite not doing the journey from the sea to the sky to the clouds traveling, we were able to formulate this. We had concepts for this. So we have the ability to conceptualize. Right? So that is our extra ability. We deal with and all this time, the expanse in time and expanse in space is abstract. Past and future are not real things. What is past? Past is memory. And this moment is the real thing. And now this moment is the real thing. And now this moment is the real thing. So we only observe the reality. All observation is in now. Not in past, not in future. Observation always in now. But what we observe, we try to make meaning of it. Right? We try to construct a meaning from whatever little be that we observe. We try to see its meaning. Its meaning is in form its purpose, its causality, its relevance. These kind of things we try to work out. And in doing this, we utilize our memories, our projections, everything we utilize to find the meaning. So when we see something, we see, say, a fruit. So So we is observing the fruit, but we say this must have come from a tree. This is happening in our minds. And the tree comes from the seed. And the seed comes from the fruit. So this cycle we are able to see. We are able to conceptualize. So by looking at small events, observing very small things, because we understand sequence of things, we have the ability to understand sequential things. Even though we don't observe the whole cycles of everything, some cycles are so big. Right? Like one cycle of solar system around the galaxy is, thousands of generations will pass. But we have conceptualized that. We have data for it. We are able to talk about events which happened billions and billions of years back. Okay? So this ability is infinite ability. We can take into account any event anywhere. And we can take into account anything which happened anytime. But we are a unit which is here and now. But we are connected to past, future, everything we are connected through our ability to deal with abstract, by the ability to conceptualize. This is our extra ability. So, before I go forward, is this clear what I am trying to say? Are you able to relate to this? Able to see this? So now the obvious question comes, why is this ability? It is there, that we have seen. There must be some purpose for it. Now we come back to that thing of understanding. This ability allows us to understand things. Because we are able to connect things, we are able to connect the dots. We are able to see the interconnections. We are able to see the network. We are able to see the order, the system. So we are able to understand things. We are able to understand the principles governing. We can understand the natural laws, natural regulation, natural balance which is there. We can identify all this. So we are the unit in existence which has the ability to understand and see all there is. We are meant to see everything. By seeing I mean understanding. We only see that which we understand. What we don't understand, we don't see. Like if somebody has knowledge of plants and you walk along with them, they'll say this is a plant, this is this medicinal plant, that medicinal plant. But a person like me who doesn't have knowledge of plants, it's all green grass. Not able to see. Another example is like if you have pieces of glass and 2 diamonds in it. If you don't understand diamonds, you'll only see a piece of glass. But the one who has understanding of diamonds will be able to see the diamonds very distinctly. Okay? So ability of cognition is based on our understanding. Is a function of our knowledge. So we are units of knowledge order. We are here to see and understand things. But that's not all, because by what I have seen or not seen, how do I verify it? What is the verification of it? The verification of it is through my conduct. I live in alignment with what I see. See, this is what I see. This is how I live. So if I understand some principle, like when we understood the law of gravitation, we started living according to it. We started making devices according to it in the physical domain. We became so successful, we were able to send satellites in the orbit of Earth because we understood gravity. So we have evidence of that we understand gravity to a certain extent. Okay. So wherever we have understood something, its evidence is there in our conduct. And which is basically utilizing that or aligning ourselves to that principle, that concept, or that law that we have discovered. Right? So we started with collaboration and harmony and things. So if we are able to see the harmony, if we have seen the harmony, we will be having harmony in our human relationships and human nature relationships. If not understood the harmony, then it won't be there. So the human purpose is to realize the harmony in nature, to see the harmony in nature, to see everything that is in harmony to its infinite extent, and then to give it evidence of that in its living with fellow human beings and nature. This is what we mean. This is the proposal of Jeevan Vidya. Any questions, clarification? Should we turn on some lights? One or two lights. Yeah, that's
No, this one.
Turn on the lights behind it.
No, or picture. Last switch. That's all.
Yeah, good enough.
It's not enjoyable.
The light?
Yeah.
Oh.
The people are.
There is enlightenment in this corner. That's what it's like.
Your wife always knows better.
It's fine for the camera. People are visible still without the light.
So I mean, I don't need the light. If you don't want the light, I'm quite fine with it. Anybody who needs light? No. Okay, done it. Okay. So we have the unique ability to see and understand the essence of existence. That's what we are meant for. And we understand the essence of existence, the evidence of it is in our living. All actions reflect the essence that we have seen. And here the message is the essence of existence is coexistence. So we live in coexistence with fellow human beings and with nature. Any questions? Make sense? Okay. Olivia? ठीक लग रही है बात? Okay. For the time being, we'll give more reasons for why we are saying this. But this is essentially what we are trying to say. So we started with, is there a role of humans in nature? Yes, there is a role. The role is to realize the entire existence. What is the goal of human beings? To realize the whole coexistence as coexistence and produce evidence of it in its conduct. That is the goal. Yes. Take the mic. Now we have 3 mics.
Uniqueness was very obvious that as you said, but वो वाला समझ नहीं आया क्योंकि role as in what's the nature getting out of it?
Yeah. So we are a product of nature, right? We are a result of nature. So since we are a result of nature, this ability is endowed in us because of nature only. So we can say that nature has produced an entity to see itself. What Gandhi was saying. See the entire splendor, the harmony it is. When you see harmony, if you see the beauty of, say, forests or mountains or the beaches, seas, how does it make you feel? Yeah. If you see understand the beauty of the night sky, when you do astronomy.
So using it, nature, humans are a way,
Use the mic.
humans are a way of nature to become happy. When we become happy, nature becomes happy.
So we are the unit in nature which is there to see itself. And when we say nature, I would say we are the unit in existence which sees the entire existence, which understands the entire existence. So it's a unit which has been produced by existence to see itself, see all the splendor of itself.
See and understand itself.
Yeah. And that's what we do. From the first breath to the last breath, every human being is an observer.
Can I also extend this definition as basically nature is recording itself?
No. No recording.
As a witness, like we are witness to.
Yeah, we are witnesses. So not recording, but we are the witnesses. We have the ability to witness the existence. Yes.
So it just reminded me of one thing. I admire Tagore a lot. So Rabindranath Tagore, when he was about to die, so he said that I haven't seen enough beauty of the nature. I was like, at the age of 70, he has seen enough, and still he is saying I haven't seen enough beauty of nature. So I could not, I can now appreciate that line of how his poems and his work also reflected that. And some people do question what he did and that, but I don't know how. I also shared it earlier also that people who are not present now, we do connect with them very closely.
Right.
So with his existence, I don't know, he is not in body now, but then whatever work he has done can correlate with it so much. It feels like it's our own. So that's
Right. So there are a lot of things which stay alive in our memories, in our conscious, in our conscious. Not the people, but their identities in forms of their abstract, whatever they represent. That again is an abstract thing, right? So we keep them alive. So we pursue certain values, certain concepts, certain principles in memory of some people that we have always done. Right? So one big message is that we deal with abstract. The abstract is there, our ability to deal with abstract is there to understand and witness the entirety of existence in form of its essence. Okay? We have that ability, all of us have it. Inherent, what she was calling the potential. We have the potential to witness this. And that is what keeps driving us. So any achievement you achieve, whatever success you achieve in life, after some time it starts seeming, I need something more. You will not be fulfilled, a human being will not be fulfilled till the time they achieve this essence, witnessing the essence of coexistence. Till that time they won't feel complete. So we can do many things. A lot of people have done quite a lot. But still they feel they have not done enough, they have not seen enough. So we are internally programmed to reach for the entirety. Take mic. Jim, you want to say something?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
So you're saying nature has created humans as an entity to witness its splendor.
So I'll just correct the language. Humans are there in nature to witness the existence. When we say created, it seems as if somebody is doing something.
Okay, can you just repeat what you said?
Humans are there in nature, exist in nature, as the witnesses of the existence.
And what was that thing you said about splendor?
So the existence is in form of the coexistential splendor.
Yeah.
So at every level you can see harmony. If you get that vision with you, then you are able to see harmony everywhere. Till the time you don't have that vision, you see struggle everywhere, conflict everywhere. We'll go through that process also a little later. So our vision, there is a shift in our vision that takes place. Then we start seeing this. And that is the purpose of this workshop, that create that shift in your vision. So you will start seeing harmony everywhere in nature. And the potentially it can also happen amongst the human beings. For that, we are able to identify our role. How can I be more harmonious in relationships, in families, in society, with the planet?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that sometimes just because the way the language is used, it kind of sounds like it's us and nature.
Yeah.
And it's, for me, it's clearly not. We are nature. Right? We are not. It's not us and nature. So it's not like we're something separate from nature. And so what is nature getting from this deal?
Right.
This is we are part of the evolution of nature, basically.
But that comes from the fact that there is a sequence of evolution. So, say if we are considering only planet Earth, then there was a time when there were no human beings, and then the human beings emerged out of the evolutionary process. So, what was the purpose of that? Why did they emerge? So, in that case, so what was all the momentum of the nature was going in this direction for what? Because nature itself is not complete till the time there is entity which witnesses it. Its entirety of the existence, the splendor of coexistence.
I think that's a really big point. So I think maybe you should dwell on that just a little bit longer, actually.
So the whole effort of in existence at any level is taking place to realize this coexistence. And every unit, according to its ability, is fulfilling this role, from say subatomic particle to atom to molecules to molecular chains to say biological life, simple biological life, complex biological life, animal life, insects, birds, mammals. Then comes the human beings. All this is the process of creating an entity which has the ability. And if you see, there are stages of it. Somewhere the body is developing, somewhere the senses are developing, somewhere the conscious is developing. And then you reach the thing which is called the human being. Now it has all the abilities, potential in form of potential. But it has the free will, and it has to decide, I want to use this for this. We are utilizing this free will for maintaining this body or pleasuring this body. That seems to be the ultimate goal for us. So instead of, the body needs to be maintained, definitely. That requirement is very simple. We'll see a little ahead as we go. Requirements of the body are very straightforward, very simple, once you understand. But the requirement of a conscious side are very big. But where we have confused ourselves is because we don't identify ourselves as the conscious units, we try to fulfill our conscious needs through the body. And that's where we are misguided. So this is where we have moved off the track which is meant for us. So we just have to see that our track is this, we have to achieve this. Then bodily needs are also fulfilled and the conscious needs are also. It's just a small shift, actually. Not a big change. It doesn't sound like we have to change everything. It's just a small shift in ourselves. and we can realize the existential purpose. All of us have the ability. We are built like that. We have the faculty. We have that inbuilt faculty which is capable of realizing. But because of the rain, the electricity is gone.
Fans are working. The fans are
On the UPS, that draws too much power, so it is not on the UPS. The projector will also work, but
We should turn them off.
fans now.
Fan.
Maybe turn off the.
It's cool enough.
Yeah,
because the weather is.
Yeah, turn off the fans.
So we can hear you better.
The temperature is much cooler now. Yeah. Yeah, so much better.
So,
Yeah.
what you said about the role of humans or the goal, it sounds a little what I've read in religious books. That God created humans and then created the world so that humans can enjoy the splendor and the beauty.
And what part did I say with natural beauty?
That the role of humans in the nature is to witness the splendor of nature. And it sounds similar to the religious stuff.
Okay, then let's go further. I'll give more details because I make a distinction from what the religious teachings are saying and what is their basis of saying things. I'll do that, then we'll come back to this question.
This what is the evidence that nature is incomplete without this event?
See,
when we say complete or incomplete, how do we decide that okay, it's or
the only evidence is the human beings.
the only
Our tendencies, our abilities. Otherwise, what are these abilities for? To fulfill our physical needs, we don't need these abilities.
this is a negation algorithm.
Let me just finish. If fulfilling our bodily functions was the only need that we had, or the material needs we had, this is already accomplished in the animal order. Why did we need another species which had these such a huge, which can modify everything?
No, true, but in the nature, the evolutions are happening not, is it the animal species or new animal species are coming by somebody programming it or
No.
it's coming?
Is that?
It's coming. So just like that.
But there is a direction there. It is not random. This is what the difference we are making. I'll come to that point when the context comes, but it is not randomly coming. So there is a direction. So where is this direction coming from? We'll see that.
But that's so what this whole logic is coming from is since we exist, and we have got these faculties, yeah, what is the better use of the only use for these faculties is to see.
I mean, we started with do humans have a role in nature? Is there a human role?
So from there only, what we are deriving is that since we exist and we have these faculties, this is the only role we can see.
So first of all, let's decide, are these faculties there with us or not? First of all, they are. So that is clear. Now, would there be some use of these faculties, or they are just randomly there, pointless? Oh, let's use that. Hello. Yes. So, is there any use of these faculties that we have, that we just talked about, or they are just pointlessly there? What is it? We can come up with a better answer, we consider that. I've been trying to ask that answer. Yes. Ask the mic to Gangu, please.
So I was wondering, so all animals and all part of nature and humans and everything has a role and a purpose in nature. But I was wondering that, say, if humans had, it's not like we're all necessary for nature. Because if, say, humans didn't exist, or just take maybe tigers didn't exist, nature would go on. It's not like the whole planet would now crumble without the existence of one species. So why is, I mean, I'm not saying that if you had to wipe out all life, but I'm just saying that every particular species doesn't necessarily have a role that they are responsible for the life on the planet of all life. So with that being said, does that mean that some species are not needed / like?
So all species are needed. All that exists is needed, that's why it exists. And evidence for that is they're fulfilling some role. That was the basis of asking this question, do humans have a role? Because if you look at anything else, it has a role. So now we say, if suppose humans did not exist, there was a state like that on planet Earth when humans did not exist. But then evolution only produced the human beings. If it was humans were not needed, why were they produced?
But like, say, loads and loads of species have existed, but then have become extinct, and every day, like, species becoming more extinct,
yeah.
And some of them become extinct completely. So if they were needed and they were existing, then is it because they become extinct because they're not needed, or is it because that's not what was supposed to happen?
So there are two reasons. So one is the actions of human beings, like an example of dodo, or several other things. These are because humans killed them. Right? So that's why they became extinct. Right? Dodo was a large bird which was somewhere on an island near Africa, and they were very fearless birds. They would approach human beings and things like that. So when the colonial people went to those islands, it was good, easy kill. So they killed them and ate them. And this process went on for a long time, and these things, one day came, they died. And when they died, okay, they are finished, no problem. 20, 30 years later, people discovered there was certain variety of trees whose new saplings are not growing. The seeds are not germinating. So some research was done and discovered that those trees grew when the dodo ate its fruit and its seeds were processed in its digestive system, and then only would it germinate. There are many trees like that in India also. The people tree, its seeds need to be processed by some birds, then only they germinate. That's why you see people tree growing up on some top of a tree or top of a building. That's how those things reach there. The birds sit there and they poop there, and that's how they grow. So that is one case where humans have caused the extinction because of our ignorance. Right? The second is, in nature, there are certain processes taking place in the sequence of development of the planet Earth. And at different stages, different species have been there to fulfill the role of those times. When those requirements are fulfilled, then those species have disappeared, either slowly or through sudden cause. Either both things have happened. For example, dinosaurs. At the time when dinosaurs existed on this planet, the atmosphere which was there, the air which was there, had a huge amount of carbon dioxide and monoxide in it, which, as you know, for the present species is very poisonous. So these were different biologies. These animals could breathe in those air. That air they were able to respirate. Their bodies were built like that. At that time there were huge jungles, forests, trees which were as tall as 1.5 kilometers to 2 kilometers. How do we know that? These forests, they got submerged under they went inside the soil and soil covered it up in several places. And slowly, the geological processes converted these things into coal. So in the scientific studies, it has been discovered if the coal layer is, say, 10 meters thick, then the tree is 10 times that is about 100 meters. So they've discovered layers of coal layers which are 150 meters to 200 meters thick, so which gives us the calculation of 1.5 meters. So these trees were huge. And what were these trees doing? They were taking in carbon dioxide, monoxide and converting and releasing oxygen. So they were oxygenating the atmosphere at that. So that process lasted for millions of years on this planet. So, but there came a time when this process was not needed any longer. So some events took place, some disappeared slowly, some disappeared suddenly, and new species arose. So those are the two ways.
So, is the theory like that there is everything that happens for a reason?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Anything that happens in nature happens for a reason.
Naturally.
Yeah.
So if we are part of nature, whatever is happening has happened for a reason.
So the reason that the human actions, the reason is either knowledge or ignorance. When the action of humans is concerned, the causality is either knowledge or absence of knowledge, which is called ignorance.
Okay. But, okay, so the humans are the only species on this planet that have a higher consciousness compared to the animal order.
Yeah.
Meaning they are capable of more intellectual thoughts, or
Free
like,
will. They have the ability to determine their own conduct.
and the power of imagination and etc.
Yes.
Yeah? So saying that,
Those of you wondering what we're talking about, we'll be going through these things after this. He has done the workshop, so he.
sorry, I had this.
That's okay. That's okay. Go on.
And so does that mean that because we are in a more conscious unit, does that mean now we have a more conscious role, as in our role will also be defined by our unit, a conscious unit?
So our role is more than material role. We have the role in the consciousness.
Yeah. So my question is that in all these millions of years of Earth evolution, there's never been a conscious unit like us on the planet. So then why is, after all these years of the planet running smoothly, why did they suddenly think that nature would need a conscious unit? As in, but if it happens for a reason, then why is the reason that a conscious unit has arrived?
So this is the thing. This is what freedom or independence is all about. We have to make the right choice. We have the ability to choose. That is our faculty of choice. And we have to choose doing what is purposeful or choose not to do what is purposeful. That choice is always there. It's always been there in front of us since you're growing up. Whether you hurt Jeevan Vidya or not hurt Jeevan Vidya, that choice is always there. To do the purposeful thing, whatever you think of the purpose of that, or not to do. Or we all have made these choices. Sometimes to be purposeful and sometimes not to be purposeful. We are defined by this ability to choose.
So could it be possible that, as you said, we are the first conscious sentient unit?
No, we're not the first. Animals are the first sentient, but their consciousness, we'll talk about that in detail. So animals are also sentient.
Sentient as in
conscious.
If the role is to witness nature, to understand nature, we might be the first step, and whatever we are doing, because we are nature, is that we are just first experiment, and then maybe a better species will evolve, which will be better suited to that too.
Okay, fine. So let the better pieces evolve. What will we do in the meantime? That question will always be there.
We are doing.
We can go back to
self-destruction.
Yeah, go back to self-destruction. That's okay. That choice is always there. It's always been there.
Possibly, they're saying because it's happening in nature. It's not like nature is allowing it.
We have to answer for ourselves. Am I relevant to this existence or not? Not. Then do what you want to do. There's no problem. We are anyways doing it.
And there was one question: is the role individual or collective? Right. So,
what does it sound like? When we did that, the goal is individual or collective? Everything.
So, hypothesis that it's a collective role because I cannot do this alone. So I cannot witness the nature of the value of nature alone. So
no, we can. Witnessing is alone. Evidencing is to be together with in collaboration.
Evidencing, understanding.
Evidencing. Living. When we want to harmonize our families, say, so we will need more than one person to do that. No? We want to harmonize our communities. We need more than one person to do it. So that is in collaboration. Witnessing, you can see, you and I can do it. We all have the ability to witness, so we can do it individually.
Like witnessing and understanding.
Yeah. So we can help each other to understand, but it's not a compulsion that I need the help. But it's a lot easier if somebody helps.
So,
like for example, you wanted to go from here to Dharamshala. You don't know the route. So there is a possibility you can discover this, right? But somebody who knows the way tells you it's not easier, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If now I can build upon that knowledge.
Yeah.
So there's passing of knowledge.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
it's the collective task.
Yeah. So, but we have to do it individually also. The knowledge part, the individual is never left out. There is no escaping that responsibility.
That is the basic step. But after that, I also like it's a necessary step, but I cannot do it alone.
Okay.
Because that's the question basically. Can I do it alone?
If there is a need, you will be able to do it alone. That is what humans are capable of doing things alone also. But it's much a lot easier to do it together.
But like you gave that example of that bird. If that bird went, something was like missing. But if we go and we are not there to see everything.
Witness,
Yeah, witness anything. Then what is the difference?
Then the difference is there is nothing to witness. So the process will.
No, the existence, whatever nature would still be there if we.
Yeah, it will be there.
So then still I mean, we didn't prove that we really have a,
We didn't prove.
that we have a reason.
So
Yeah.
suppose we are not there, then nobody would be witnessing anything.
Yeah, so but how would that make a difference?
It
in
makes.
existence?
So who sees the difference? Who searches for the difference? See, all this is very interesting. When we are, say, polluting, when we are cutting down forests, we are destroying the nature's balance, climate change. Who is doing it? We are doing it, humans. Who is disturbed by it? Humans are disturbed. There is no animal who is holding a workshop about it. There is no institute set up.
No,
Right?
but clearly it's disturbing.
It is disturbing, yeah.
Like animals.
But it doesn't matter to the nature, no? In that sense. Nobody will be
Not
complaining, no
feeling.
river will be complaining, no mountain will be complaining, no insect will be complaining, no plant will be complaining.
So
We
why
are the
does-
ones.
Why does someone need to complain?
Because we are able to see, and if it is in harmony, it pains us. That is the human design.
No, but why do we need? Like, why do not we need? Why does nature need someone to? Everything can be the way it is and like exist like that. Why does it require? To
Who is asking this question?
I am.
Who are you? A human being.
Yeah.
And how did you come about? The nature. You are a product of nature, no?
Yeah, but
Evolutionary entity. Evolved out of the nature's process.
okay, so you're saying that if I'm there, that means there's some purpose of me.
Because there was a stage when humans were not there. If it was complete, if it didn't matter, humans didn't matter, they would not have emerged.
Then why nature have created such unit which is harming itself, na? Then why nature has created such a unit which is harming itself?
So, nature is not created, we are in nature, human beings, and we have the ability to determine our own conduct. Since we have not realized our purpose, that is also one of our faculties, to realize our purpose. Realization is our faculty, human faculty. And since we have not realized our purpose, we are misguided. The day we realize our purpose, as individuals, as families, as society, as humankind, we will be in harmony. That's the work in front.
Nature certainly needed us. That's why it has created humans.
We are not separate from nature. First of all, let's be clear. We are part of nature. Integral part. When we say nature created us, it seems nature is different and we are different. Right? We are not different from nature. We are integral part of nature.
But how come an integral part can be designed in such a way that it is harming? I mean, if
It is not meant to harm, it has the ability to choose.
that
It has the
ability
free
is-
will. When somebody takes away your free will, how do you feel? Somebody restricts you from doing what you want to do. How does it feel?
Not happy.
Nothing?
Not happy.
Any, but most of
Not
the people.
happy. Not happy.
Huh? Not happy.
Not happy with
Yeah. So when we don't, we have the ability to exercise our free will to do what we want to do. The problem is what we want is based on a misconception of what we are. It is based on the misconception of what we are. We think of ourselves as just another species of animals. So we try to live like animals. Khao, piyo, mast raho. That doesn't work for us. Our problems start once we have eaten. Till the time we have not eaten, we'll look for food. We'll try for food, shelter, all these things. Once these needs are fulfilled, then our problems are. Now what will we do? So our issue is not the material needs. Any one of us who's sitting here right now, all our material needs are fulfilled. But we're still in this workshop. That means we're still searching for something. So our goal is not material goals, which till animals was the goal. If animals' material needs are fulfilled, like cow gets its food, it will sit and just chew it, relaxed. Till the time it feels hungry again, then it will go. A lion will kill something, eat it and relax, till the time it is hungry again. We are not like that. So our domain is not material domain. We have to take care of the material part, but our domain is the conscious part. So we want to get along with people. We want to be having good relationships. Now good relationship is an abstract thing. It is a balance of feelings between two people. Right? ये सब बंद है ना? Right? So now here we are, we have the ability, or we have the faculty of free. We have the faculty of imagination. We have the faculty of understanding. We have the faculty of realization. These are what they are within us. We have not given it to ourselves. What do we do with these? We don't need these faculties for fulfilling our material needs. That can be fulfilled with much lesser faculties. Because you can see that in the animal world. From ant to elephant, smallest to biggest land animal, they all are able to take care of their material needs. Human being is not able to take care even of that. Even though it's only trying to do that. So somewhere or the other we are confused, we are lost. So now we are trying to explore where are we lost, what are we missing. So this is one proposal. This could be the thing. Now this is up to you to consider. Is this a possibility? Could this be it? Are we supposed to understand things? Are we supposed to understand the essence of everything? Whatever we have understood, produce the evidence of it in our conduct, and therefore resulting in harmony with fellow human beings, with nature. That's why when we started this whole thing last evening, I said that this proposal is for harmony in human-human relationships and human-nature relationships. That's the goal. That is the final objective. We can always reconsider this. If we don't like this now, because this means we'll have to witness something, we'll have to change something. And as I said, I'm not asking you to change anything. Just listen and then you do what you feel like. You'll anyways do what you feel like.
Means dinosaurs were there to consume, say, carbon dioxide.
Dinosaurs were there they thrived on the vegetative life of that time.
Then we are just here to witness.
What else?
So by witnessing what we
Witness
are
what?
going to do.
Witness what?
Witness what? That's what I am.
So
by witnessing what we are going to do.
Witness
then
the
after that.
entire existence.
And what we are going to do with that?
But by
The
witness.
moment you witness anything in its entirety, suppose you understand some principle. you get filled with the wonder and joy. You have experienced that. The
Means
joy of
human
knowing.
unit is designed, human unit is evolved just to witness and to
be
enjoy
happy.
that.
Yeah, by seeing the splendor of coexistence. Everything is in harmony.
But by witnessing, you mean to understand.
Huh?
You said earlier, seeing is to understand. So by
Seeing is to
witnessing, you mean to
understand, yes.
understand.
When I say witness or seeing, it means seeing it with the eye of the knowledge, not the physical eyes. Physical eyes are very limited.
But then,
Just let's finish that dialogue. It doesn't settle.
I'm
Think
not
about it.
convinced that only that much purpose is there. Just to witness and take the joy of that.
I think the word witness is not just.
So, no problem. Think about it. We'll talk about this again. Think about it and see where is the loophole. Then
Right now, I'm not witnessing everything, so not getting
Right.
joy.
Yeah.
That is, I'm accepting, that is okay. But my purpose to take birth here or as a human being is just that to witness whatever is happening in nature, whatever is
So
happening
once-
with birds, with sky, with the planet, with animals, and just to enjoy that.
By seeing it, but whether I've seen it or not seen it, I need evidence of that also. So I align my conduct, my living is my conduct, to according to what I've seen. This I already do that. Right? You and I already do that. But what we are seeing right now, what we are witnessing right now, what we are aware of right now is partial things. So our conduct is also partial. So therefore, we are never in harmony. So when we see the complete picture, the evidence of that is our conduct becomes harmonious. And that leads to happiness not only for ourselves, but people we impact or things that we impact, our surroundings. And that impact goes from one generation to the other, to the other, to the other. Like that. So this isn't such a small thing. But if you think this is not sufficient, then maybe you could propose what else we could do. What else could be our purpose? We need to think then. Or we will come to the conclusion there is no purpose of our existence. That thought is very discouraging. It just it takes away all the hope from us. It's just random, it's just an incidental existence, which is a mistake.
It doesn't feel correct also.
Okay?
The word witness is.
For time being, okay.
That was not finished.
For time being, okay.
For the time. Yes.
The word witness is like. I think it's not just to see from the senses.
Yeah.
It's like more from.
I hope this is clear, no? When we are saying witness, it is not seeing with the eyes only. Jim, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to celebrate also. It's not like it's just a very subdued observation. Just to collaborate with each other and to know that the joy of collaboration also. I mean, there's so much we could do together, actually. We could kind of live in paradise, actually. We could treat the ecology really well, we could treat each other really well. We could live in joy, actually. We could care for each other, we could keep each other safe. We could completely feel fulfilled, actually. So, I mean, it seems like we have a lot of potential if we collaborated on it. We could make life a real joy, actually. It's not just to be a kind of a sadhu witnessing something just very sedately.
Yeah. It's not that kind of witnessing that we're talking about.
We'll be evidencing coexistence for which we need to witness it, but that's not the end.
Maybe collaboration comes about at the moment you become a witness also, no? When you become the witness of watching something working so beautifully, minus our intervention, let's say, for a moment. I think something does happen in us which is reflected in what Jim just mentioned. That it inspires you to let's also do it. You know, it's like maybe something flowers inside us when we become that witness, and for even if it's even if I understand where she's coming from, कि खा पी के बस यही देखना है क्या, it's like beyond, even if it is just like how we meditate, for example, right? We all do get benefit out of maybe meditation or yoga or whatever it may be. That whole concept of witness, if we could even give that a small portion in our life, I think something will flower in us.
In fact, this is what we are doing all the time anyways. We are since birth observers, so we are witnessing the world. And when you observe something, you also interpret it or you perceive it. You put some meaning to it. So the meaning comes from the observation, part from our previous understanding. So right now I am observing you guys. So what I am observing plus what my learnings are, combined with that I make the meaning of what is happening. And similarly, this is what you do. Right? So this perception is the important role which it plays. Then whatever we perceive, we conclude something. And when we conclude something, we make it the basis for a decision. And then we act on the basis of that decision. And it doesn't end there. When we act, it results into something. And when that result happens, we again observe it. And then we assess, is this what I wanted to happen? Or is this something else which will happen? So if it is an alignment with what I thought, then I feel happy. Oh, I have understood. Or if it is not in alignment, then something is missing. I have not understood. So this is a loop which keeps on going daily. Every moment we are observing, interpreting, deciding, acting, doing, result, observation, feedback, recorrection. This is what we are doing all the time. This is what a human being is. So we are witnessing the things in parts. We are seeing, observing. So we are saying you can witness the entirety of this thing in its essence. Once you see, then these parts start making sense. We start seeing the interconnections, which are abstract things. You see the system, you see the principles governing it, you see the order in it, and then you align yourself to it. And when you start living according to this, then there is harmony. And all your actions result in the result that you want, and that makes you continuously happy. That is what we see. And the impact of such harmonious actions on the surroundings is also harmonious, inspiring. Till now, whenever we look at ourselves, what is happening within us, we start from desires. But there is more to human being than desires. There is a much stronger need than desire in us. The need to understand, need to realize. That we have not yet become aware of. But the moment you understand it, you start thinking, how was I functioning without it? It's like that. It's your own ability which you are not aware of. I mean, a crude example of it is like some people are able to raise their eyebrow. I can't do it, so I can't show you like this. Right? That muscle is there with me also, but I don't have control over it. So it is my mental faculty which is there on which I don't have control right now. The faculty of understanding and realizing. So I am making do with whatever I am aware of. So I start functioning from level of desire. That's how I'm living. And that is not complete picture. It doesn't result in complete. And we all have witnessed in one form or the other. If you are just pursuing your desires, this is not the complete life. It leaves you, thirsty. It leaves you incomplete.
But when you're using the word desire, you're associating it with materialistic.
No.
Desire to understand better.
Also a desire.
Yeah. So desires for good relationships or desire is a thing which we want to have, right? Desire is something we want to have, something like that. So it is a function of something that we need, right? Need is again based on our perceptions, how we view the world. So in our worldview, we have the worldview that I want to live a certain kind of a lifestyle, then the need, say I want to live a fully materialistic lifestyle, then all the technology is my need. Right? So it depends on my perceptions of life. So desire is a function of our need, the needs that we feel. And the needs that we perceive are a function of our level of awareness, which comes from understanding. So therefore, desire is not the fundamental quality. There is something at the base of it. Level of awareness. Level of awareness is a function of our understanding of the world. In other words, the worldview that we have. That determines our needs, no? Yes, Karen.
I was just asking, like desire, is it a distorted need? Is it like...
Desire is basically the conscious ability which addresses our perceived needs. Whatever needs we perceive, the conscious ability which tries to fulfill those is desire.
Is it good or bad to have this?
Nothing good or bad. It is a faculty.
You mean to say it happens without observation?
No, there is some observation. Not complete observation, partial observation.
What does it?
Like for example, we have food right now. Suppose we've gone for dinner, and on the first day the food fell short. Now I'm going for a second helping, and I see there are people there standing in the line who just come and realize there is no food. So you can hurry up and stand in front of the line also, and you can say, okay, I've had some food, let them have. So observe. What are you observing? Right. That also is a function of your level of awareness. So you're only aware of your need, or you're also aware of others' needs. So are you just seeing yourself in isolation? Well-being of yourself? That is delusional. You can't have an individual's well-being. For example, can you be happy if everybody around you is unhappy? Can't. Can you be rich if everybody around you is poor? Sooner or later, it's just a matter of function of time. You will realize, or they will realize. These are not sustainable situations. So we have to think ourselves as units, as part of the whole. So our needs are not individual needs, it is the needs of the whole, in which my need is also defined. So when we address the well-being of all, the well-being of the person is also taken care of. But right now we try to function with taking only care of our well-being. So the well-being of the collective is ignored. Then everybody keeps complaining, nobody is doing. The government is not doing anything. That's the most common complaint. No? There are no laws for taking care of that. But I'll devote my life to myself, but the government should take care of it. It's definitely needed. So that's what we are saying. understanding leads to integrity. Integrity is the identifying what is my responsibility, what is my share of it. Identifying your responsibility. So with integrity comes responsibility. And when you fulfill your responsibility, that leads to participation. That leads to collaboration. Yeah.
So, I'm going back to the definition of desire.
Yeah.
So, desire is mapped to the perceived need.
Yeah. Presently, that's so.
So, assuming that what you perceive is what it is, then desire is equal to.
Yeah. So that's why
leads to the.
Yeah. So here we don't talk about subduing your or killing your desires. We don't talk about that. We say identify your natural desires.
What you perceive is a reality. Is what
Part of a reality or complete reality.
No,
Two states.
The thing which is being talked about, which is being highlighted, is that as the more what you're perceiving is closer to the reality or is a reality, then what you desire is what is your need.
So you have to understand the human being to understand the human needs first. There are some generic human needs that every human being needs to fulfill. So if your desires are not addressing these needs or violating these needs, then you are causing trouble for yourself. Like, for example, the generic need of all human beings is, material need is food, shelter, clothing. This is a generic need. But individual need could be that I need pant and shirt as clothes. Or I need roti, chawal, sabji, dal, dahi, achar, all these things. My individual need could be this. But this is not violating the need of, the generic need of a human. But to acquire this, I violate somebody else's generic need. That is where the problem is. Or I start eating things which do not provide nutrition, then I am violating the generic need of it.
Here are we talking of generic needs and personal needs?
So mostly we'll concentrate on the generic. Personal you are aware of. So you just have to do a filter. Are they aligned with the generic needs or are they violating it? That you can do on your own.
So basically be sensitive, or be aware and sensitive of others' needs as well.
Of generic needs.
And desire, you saying, desire doesn't cater to the other generic desire or need.
In ignorance it will not. But with knowledge it can. So desire is a faculty. See, in past, humans have considered desires as the root of all problems. So, don't have desires. It is impossible for a human being to exist without desire. You can't find a single human being who doesn't have desire. Desire is our faculty. Killing that faculty means killing ourselves. So, we have to just harmonize it, balance it. Balance desires. That's all we need. That comes from understanding the generic needs of human beings. When we explore that, you'll see for yourself whether it helps or not. And when we talk in Jeevan Vidya, we talk in terms of a common man, to live a life of a common person. Right? A normal human being, not superhuman beings, not something you need some special superpowers to do something or not do something. Like a common human being with normal needs, living in family, living in community, living in society, that kind of a person.
So in Buddha, like I have read as an influence of Buddha also, so we have always conditioned like desire is the root of all misery, so it has been fed in my mind. So
Yeah. I'll do that analysis also, where that comes from.
If it is coming out of ignorance, then there's something fine.
It's like Buddha said that was not right.
Very interestingly, this is what is said that Buddha said.
I know, it might be the thing. Somebody just manipulated it.
No, I don't know whether it is this is a very prevalent belief.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say that it is something which we believe Buddha said. Nobody really knows what Buddha said. Because words don't carry meaning. Meaning is in our living, in our conduct. Harmony, the word doesn't carry the harmony. It's just an indicator of harmony. Harmony is in living. Nutrition is a word. The word doesn't carry nutrition. It's a reality.
You said animals have a materialistic domain, humans have a conscious domain.
Yeah.
Okay, so a conscious role.
Yeah.
So the conscious role is to be in harmony, or is there any stages to understand our consciousness?
Yeah. I will be going on into all that. But to distinguish between these two, because since we are not running the projector and things like that, I'll use some,
It's on.
No, but the wind was blowing, That
It's okay, I'll calm down.
Then we follow the presentation. Krishna is very systematic. She doesn't like me jumping from one to the other. So now that we've talked about a little bit about human purpose, human role, human goal, and we are saying the evidence that, so first point is that we are there to witness the essence of existence in form of coexistence. To see the splendor of this whole coexistence. We are there for this. And the evidence that we have seen it, we have witnessed it, is in our conduct, in our living, in form of harmony in our human-human relationships and harmony with human-nature relationships. So, if there is harmony in human-human relationships and harmony in human-nature relationship, what will this result in? Happiness in us, but it will also result in the continuity of the human tradition. With harmony, if we are living in harmony with amongst ourselves and also with the nature, then we can continue perpetually. Right now, our biggest fear is that we will get destroyed. Our future generations won't have a place to live. And if you look at any species on this planet, they all are trying to do this. All their actions are to preserve its continuity of that species. So humans as a species also will also continue if it is in harmony with nature as well as harmony with itself. Do you agree to this? Can you relate it to other species also? That every action a bird is doing, or a snake is doing, or a bee is doing, is to ensure the continuity of its species. So, if we were to say that the human goal or human purpose is to ensure the continuity of the human tradition, the tradition based in knowledge and awareness, not the present. Continuity of the humankind, for which the continuity of the natural systems integral. You can't avoid that. You can't have humans without the balance in nature.
So that could be one of our goals, human goals. no?
Yeah. So if we say the continuity of humankind is the goal for you, for me, for all of us.
A goal, not the goal, maybe, but.
So what else?
As in to live in balance. But I suppose if you don't live in balance, you can't continue human anyway.
So living in balance is for that goal. Right? You determine the balance in definition to in reference to that goal. Right? The continuity of humankind. So you make this the goal, then all of us, whatever actions we are doing, we can check whether this will take us in that direction or will it take us away from that direction. This we can put a check.
So, are we are we defining it because we are at a point of crisis? Because, just like intuitively, naturally, it doesn't feel like that's something that there's this being which would want or choose continuity as a goal.
So what I'm saying is the crisis is there, therefore the need to realize our goal is more urgent. Yeah. But the goal has always been there. When the crisis wasn't there, still this is the same goal. Because it is a common goal in any species. We have to decide on this because we have the free will. We have to decide our future too. We do that anyways, as individuals, as families, as groups, as teams. This is what we do. We decide what we are going to do. What is the future that we want for ourselves? Don't we do this?
I think it's an innate natural feeling, like even if not continuation of human in general, at least your offspring, it comes naturally that, oh, nothing should happen to my offspring, and that offspring will think nothing should happen to my offspring. So it's like a continuous, it just flows. It's a natural thing. That
So
comes
just
from
take away my from that. We're just saying continuity of humans. And for that, the continuity of nature is essential. You can't have that without that. That you and I can acknowledge very easily. Right? So continuity of humans means harmony within humans, because we are the biggest danger to us is from each other. Nature is not out there to destroy us. In fact, nature is there to make us flourish, make us thrive. It's given all there's abundance of resources for us to flourish in harmony.
I'm still not able to relate to when we say there's a need to, that we have to continue the human species, or there's a continuity that we would like to have.
So what would be our future goal? Let's phrase it like that.
I'm also just actually
I understand.
thinking as I'm talking.
Yeah. So I'm just helping you in with that. I'm saying, so let's approach this from a different angle. Since humans deal with time and we also want to see the impact of our actions, what is the foreseeable future that we want for us or our future generation?
Yeah, but these are construct. It's a construct. Right?
All constructs are abstract.
Yeah.
We deal only in abstract. We deal mostly in abstract.
To say that we have to see a future, and we are constructing, and hence actually we are in the crisis. That we've constructed these futures, and
I understand where you come. So what is the alternative? Let's not have this construct.
Why are we framing a construct as
I'm saying let's drop it totally.
If we were to just look at the physical needs, fulfill that, and then articulate, but I feel that problems, we are in a crisis because we have created these constructs and narratives about 10 years later and 20 years or whatever,
And so, or is it that we just try to live as bodies, fulfill our material needs, and that's why we created this crisis? I see it like that.
Like what? Sorry.
We have only looked at ourselves as material things and try to live materially, limiting our living to material domain. And that is what has created the crisis. Because material never satisfies us. For material, when we think of us as materials, and then only the material gains matter to us, and for this, our relationships, which are not non-material, they become secondary. The material gains become primary, and then all the conflict, struggle, war, whatever has to take place.
Understanding it differently, like the language.
So think of it in terms of when you go back also, think of it in what is the alternative for, is there a goal for me or not? Let there be no goal. Then what the life will look like? Then what am I doing today? And why am I doing? Is there a question of why in me? Do you seek a why? Why should I do this? When you ask a question yourself to any action, why? And you're basically asking what is the purpose of this? What is the relevance of this? What is the meaning of this? What is causing this? Does that concern you or not? Can we do away with that?
Why do I do what I do? Right?
And also at times, don't we think, why is this person doing this? Or like, you must be, why am I saying all this? So the why is there within us.
Yeah.
Even before coming to this workshop, you must have been asking this why in different situations as per your need. So why do you ask why?
There is definitely there's a sense that I guess one is seeing that there is an incomplete understanding of things. There's an incompleteness that one is constantly actually seeing.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So the question arises from that, is that there is, we know that this is not it.
Yes. This, most of us have observed at some time of life. And some of us observe it more often than the others. But all of us observe it, this incompleteness. Then we have our coping mechanisms also, how to cope up with that. All I'm asking is to give it some space in your mind for the time being, for the duration of the work. That's all. I'm not asking you to change anything in the life. Just think along these lines. Could this be the human goal? Yes?
This continuity of a species, something that makes sense to me, because every species in nature is programmed to work for it, even if it costs them their lives.
Right.
But they're still programmed in a way that
Like
they do
bees
it.
behave. When somebody tries to damage the hive, they will sacrifice
No,
them.
I'm thinking about procreation.
Right.
There are some animals or some species when they procreate, one of them dies.
Yeah.
But they don't run away from it.
Right.
They're still programmed to go ahead with it. That
So
could be, that's how humans are programmed. You don't think about it, but that's innate. That you have to continue the species.
So the difference between, say, from those species is that they are pre-programmed. We have the ability to determine our conduct. So do we want to self-preserve? That's a decision that we have to make. Either self-preserve or self-destruct. That's the choice that we need to make. And this choice has become urgent because there's a crisis in front of us. But this choice was always there. Put on. Okay? Pallavi?
Yeah, so like this also doesn't feel right to me. So like that. And with that, there's another question that.
Is the mic? No, mic is. Sorry.
There's another question that what happens to my role like when my body dies? Like, is my role limited to my body, the duration of my body, like whatever time I have here? I'm just a tool to.
Whose tool?
Nature's tool to witness till the time of duration of my body here is.
But nature is not an entity in that sense. We are giving the name nature to the collective. When you say nature's tool, that means there is some identity like nature which is making human beings do something which is different from nature. Like, this is my tool. This is different than me, no? So when humans are tools of nature, then nature and humans being will be different. Is it so?
So then my role as an individual is limited to my body or my duration of my life.
For the time being, let's consider that only. We don't know beyond that. So let's keep the discussion within for the lifetime only for the time being. जितना पता है उसको रिजॉल्व कर लेते हैं पहले, जो नहीं पता उसको बाद में देखते हैं.
Then whatever I'm conditioned to, like I'm conditioned to think that there is a beginning and there is an end. Then this doesn't feel right with that conventional thinking.
Okay? Let's check either of the two will stay. Whether this will stay with you or that will stay with you. Either is fine with me. That's why I said from the beginning. You have some conditions with you. Right? Some assumptions, some beliefs, some faith, some understanding, whatever you call it. And when I'm proposing this to you, you're listening to it carefully, examining it. If it makes sense to you, let out. You take it in and you use it. Otherwise, you won't use it. Where is the problem? I will not convince you. That I stated from the first.
Just confirming that according to your proposal, there is no end as such. It's a ongoing role. Like there is one thing that there's a goal and we fulfill it. There's an end. Now, according to this proposal, there's a goal to witness and to understand things, and it's an ongoing goal. There's no end to it. There's no full stop.
There's no full stop. And you have to do this. Your future generations have to do this. Their future generations have to do this. All human beings have to do this now. Simple, straightforward thing. This is what happens in nature. If you look at any species, that's what they are doing. If we do this, we also become joyful and happy. Yes.
What I was thinking was that, of course, any human being cannot contradict the continuity of the human species.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if the human species fails to continue, then the person who had the goal is no longer there. The unit that had the goal is no longer there. So naturally, it cannot contradict the continuity of the species. So it would have to be in line, something that ensures the continuity of the species. But I don't think continuing the species is the human goal. I think the human goal is something much bigger or much more lively, much more in the present. And that ensures the continuity.
We'll come to that. Let's go step by step. Few more slides. We'll come to that. Yes, please.
I'd like to just summarize to see whether I've understood this right. So there is role and there is goal. Correct?
Yeah.
Two different things.
No, fulfilling the role is our goal.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So the role to me sounds like if, let's say, for example, nature is like one entity.
Yes.
Like like for example, how I am one of the entities and how like I have the function of a brain, for example, right? Somehow it sounds like if nature is an entity, the role is somewhat like a brainish kind of role.
Loosely you could say, yeah.
Which witnesses and kind of observes and whatever, and it can imagine and whatever further, whatever that. And the goal side of it, and some part of this is also to do with continuing to do this, basically, correct? Continuing to keep this brain of this nature alive, because if I am one entity and I would like to live with my brain for as long as I exist. So if nature is going to continue to exist, then it would like to retain
Nature will
its
not
brain.
end.
Huh?
Nature will not end even if human beings.
Exactly. So.
But the momentum of nature is for entity which witnesses itself.
Correct. Yeah.
We are the entity which witnesses nature, and that is witnessing itself, the nature.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our
it's
role.
a nice faculty to have, and the idea is to continue to keep this.
So one small thing which is missing here is that when we witness, whether we have witnessed or not witnessed this harmony, existential harmony or existential splendor, as I said earlier, the evidence of it is in my conduct. And the evidence of my conduct is what has the impact on the world. So the impact, if it is in form of harmony in human-human relationships and human-nature relationship, then I have witnessed this. That's the evidence. This also in turn ensures the continuity of the humankind. And the continuity of all the things in nature in that harmonious manner. That's what we see.
Why let's say we frame it,
alternative. Yes.
I'm not able to relate to this, that the goal is to continue.
Yeah.
Why can't the goal be that one has to be able to see it fully?
Yeah. So that is the goal. That's what we said. But how do I know what I've seen is the reality? It's not an assumption. Like for example, if I were to say, like the statement I made earlier, that all relationships need to be harmonious or need to be just. Right? How do we know this is not just a figment of my imagination and got nothing to do with reality? Or it could also be reality. Now, till the time I live it and verify it, it is just a imagination. But if I am able to live it, then it is a reality. Okay. So, what is there in my witnessing part, there has to be evidence of that in my living part. In past, human beings have thought of it like what we're saying. We'll sit down in some pose and we'll see everything. I'm not saying you're saying, but I'm informing you that this also has been thought. We are saying that doesn't lead to any ripple effect. It gets limited. Whether the person, I'm not saying that person has not seen. Maybe they're seeing, but it is not multiplying.
It's not replicable.
It's not replicable. It's not going to multiply at all. So, when there is evidence in living harmony in my relationships, that will, suppose you are this person who is living in harmony, then I'm impacted by that, I'm influenced by that, I'm inspired by that. So I also want to be like that. Because we are saying it is my inherent need. This is how you identify people, and this person lives a good life. That's how we find friends and source of inspiration and things like that. This is an inbuilt system in us. So that's how it multiplies. That's how it leads, what it eventually leads to is continuity of humankind. So what we are witnessing and what we are living, there has to be a connection. What is in our mind and what is in our conduct, there has to be a connection. Our biggest source of unhappiness is not disharmony or anything with others. It is the disharmony of our mind and our conduct. I feel something, I think of something, and I'm not able to do it. I'm not able to live up to it. This is the biggest disappointment humans have. This is the biggest cause of depression also. If you see, in today's youth, they have very high aspirations, but they are not able to live up to it. So this gap of what we have in our mind and what we are living is devastating. So what she was saying at one time, that there internal and external, there has to be harmony with it, within and without. We have to have this reflection of each other. If there is dualities or multiplicity here, that troubles us the most. If we are aware. Otherwise, it only troubles the others. But the day you realize the multiplicity of your actions, it causes huge pain.
It's past.
Okay. Thank you. We'll continue tomorrow. Think about these things.